Hey guys,
Hello.
How's it going?
it's going.
It's going.
So we're
Just go
already
into
like
appetite. Let's get into
excited
it.
about the topic. Yeah.
Yeah,
We're
Sonia. Shh.
stop talking.
Okay, Jessica, what are you drinking?
Oh, right. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna give a little clarification. We were really starting to get into a topic on pre-drinks, so we're swapping over here for you guys, our listeners, and not those folks that pay us. But if you want to pay us, check out our Patreon. You can find our pre-drinks episodes every week. And okay, I am sick. If you can't tell by my voice, if you listened to last week's episode, I was just starting to get sick, and I'm kind of in the tail end of it. So right now I am drinking Body Armor Fruit Punch Super Hydration Drink. So probably sugar and electrolytes.
Yeah,
It's what the plants
electrolytes.
crave.
Yeah.
Like Gatorade Prime, whatever. It's one of those kind of drinks, right?
And then like people are drinking water from like the toilet. And like
Sonia, what are you drinking?
not water from the toilet. I'm drinking coffee.
I'm drinking water, not from the toilet. Well, I don't know. Maybe they
It's
do.
from
put it
the toilet.
It's from the toilet, and now it's in a.
She just scoops it. She
Yeah.
just throws a bottle, scoops it up.
It's the same stuff. It comes from the same place. Okay. Like it's
Your
not
butt.
your butt should not have water. Like you might want to see a doctor.
There was this one time. But anyway.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys heard the Canadian Prime Minister. We are Canadian.
Just in case you didn't know.
Just in case you didn't know, it might be your first time listening. Trudeau has resigned.
Dun dun dun.
Boo.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine. Like it's but see, we were so talky before, and now we're like we're trying to like organize our thoughts to talk about it. But like my first comment is, what are all the like fuck Trudeau people like
gonna do with all their merch, all their flags?
They'll
like
just be like,
Value
yay.
Village is gonna be littered with it.
I'm going to go get some. Oh my god, if I saw a fuck Trudeau flag in like Value Village, I would buy it. Like personally, I'm like, this is historical.
It is. It's a historical now piece of history. I don't know.
Whatever.
But yes.
So
I'm gonna write like satire, like make sure people know, like I'm owning this for satirical purposes.
Yeah.
Like it's not.
is his wife like their mascot? Because she got to like bone him all the time. So like they're like, oh, I want to be her. Like, is that
I mean, that was my excuse, but whatever, you know.
like they have like a religion of like a Stephanie Trudeau? Is her name Stephanie?
No, it's Sophie.
Okay, I was
Stephanie Trudeau.
Yeah, they have a Sophie Trudeau like temple. Like you know, there's like Zeus and then his wife, and so then they have like the wife temple.
And she got to fuck him twice. Like she fucked him and then she divorced him.
They're
Fucking
still
two-ways.
boning.
Well,
They're go to like the cabin together. They're like are away.
I mean, to be fair, if
all the
I was like
time.
married with someone for as long as they've been together and stuff, and like we were divorcing, I'd still be like, okay, I might as well. Like,
Right?
It's COVID, guys. Like, I don't know what's out there. Like,
it's safe dick.
yeah, exactly.
That's what it is. Like
I know what I'm getting. You know,
it's like it's also like security dick. It's like comfort dick. Like it's dick, you know.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Sometimes change is hard.
Yeah.
And sometimes
But especially with dick, you don't want to risk it. Like you're like, oh, like he knows what he's doing. Do I want to risk teaching somebody else over the next 20 years? Like that.
Especially like as you get older, I find like men's quality declines. Like because I find when they're younger, you can kind of give them the excuse. Like if the fact that you have to teach them at all, like is what I'm saying. Because like men should know women's anatomy and kind of
Well,
figure that
everybody's
stuff out.
different. Like
Oh, yeah,
even
different strokes for
women
different
don't
folks,
understand
but-
themselves, right?
Yeah.
So like benefit of the doubt, when you're putting your pieces together, you got to see what works the best.
Oh, I've just been watching Later Daters on Netflix, and yeah, I'm just saying that's quality declines with age because they don't get different. They stay the same as they are when they're 20, just now they're 50. You
They can't
excuse
learn.
it.
They don't learn new tricks.
No.
Apparently they do not, because they always had like a woman do it for them.
But like, I don't.
got
That doesn't
divorced.
make sense to me.
Watch
I
it. It's
I
crazy.
like. I
All
was
the
like,
women are awesome. I'm like, I want to date these women, and then all the men are like, I want to date someone. I've never dated anyone older than me.
it's all been younger. Chris
Yeah.
is older than you.
Yeah, I've dated in the
Oh.
show. The men are like, I've never dated anyone younger than or older than me. But
Oh,
all the
okay.
women are like just awesome. Their personalities. But
Oh,
anyways,
okay.
fuck Trudeau.
Yes.
And, yeah, that merch stock is definitely in decline.
I know, that'll be great. I'll just like be like, I fucked Trudeau and all I got was this t-shirt. Like, you know,
We
he's
should make
gone
that.
now. So like he's been fucked, I guess. But I hope Freeland, I hope she takes over.
I don't think she will though. I don't think it'll be
like-
her. I think it'll be Mark Carney.
Well, it was her job. Like if she didn't get let go like 2 weeks ago, that would have been her job already.
She didn't let go. She quit. She full out quit.
That was like a polite quit, like not
she
to like
quit the
ruffle
way
the feathers.
Trudeau quit.
Yeah.
It's just the best way I have to leave. Like he got fired, like she got fired. Like this is just
Mhm.
it's just a PR way. It's like when people break up and they want to be like, oh, like it was like mutual.
I
but
get
really somebody else. Like
And he knew he was going to resign like weeks before he resigned.
Oh, yeah.
So I wonder if them kind of forcing her out a couple weeks prior was on purpose so that didn't happen. You know what I mean?
Okay, so the whole thing is that she's tied really close to like Justin Trudeau, right? And like all the decisions she made was based on what he told her to. So they're not going to want her in because he'll still be an influence then. Like, you know what I mean?
She's his Harris to Biden.
Yeah.
yeah.
They're not going to want that because they want to totally detach from him, like completely.
As
Yeah.
they should.
I think it'll be Mark Carney, even though like he is a little bit same in the Trudeau circle. He's less.
They're all liberal. Like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she was more on the camera beside Trudeau. They tied the two together, right? Whereas not so much Mark Carney. And so they're going to definitely go his route. Plus, he's a man. So there's that. Just alone. He's a man.
Trudeau should have
Yeah.
resigned months ago.
Yeah, like either do it months ago so they have time to strengthen their fan base.
Mhm.
So they have time to be like, these are my policies, like vote for me kind of thing. Or he shouldn't have resigned. Like he should have like pissed and got off the pot like a long time ago. Because this is just gonna be like a Harris Biden situation where
Exactly.
they should, if they were going to change places, they should have done it a long time ago, and given that person the opportunity to campaign. But now all we have is fucking Singh and Pal whatever
PP.
saying the same shit. Liberal bad, me good. Other party bad, me good.
Mhm.
That's it. They're fucking puppets. And whenever anybody asks them a question, it's the same answer.
They
Liberal
still
bad.
dropped Trudeau's name. And I'm like, you're not going to be fighting him now. Like,
And it's
you gotta-
because the people they're courting are these fuck Trudeau people. Like it's like Singh, why are you going after the fuck Trudeau crowd?
They're not
They
going to
don't
like
care.
you either. They're
Yeah.
racist. They
Like
don't
what
care.
the fuck? Like stop going after the fuck Trudeau crowd and go after the people that are like pro socialist ideas, you know, like pro workers populism, you know, like the things that NDP used to be.
But he's always been very attack, like the conservatives. Like he's always ran his campaign like that, even in the beginning, which was stupid. I always thought that was not smart. You know,
I think attacking is fine when there's a place for it, but because of how much Singh has given the Liberals during this coalition, and
Yeah.
how, like, if he had fought harder and like literally backed down from some things until the Liberals like agreed and like put that fight into actual use, then I would be like, okay. But it sounds like he's just like all talk, and then he's in the boardroom and he's like, no, yeah, that's right, Trudeau, we'll side with you for that. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yes.
fuck you then, because you're just talk. I mean, I'm
You're
still gonna vote for
being
them
a
because I'd rather you than
pussy.
PP. But
Yeah, that's a problem, right? I'd rather this fucking loser than the other loser.
I don't want any of them.
Like, but don't waste your vote. Or
I
the
know.
Conservatives will win.
the Conservatives are gonna win anyway.
Oh no,
Yeah.
I don't want to do. And it's just like you know why the Canada's in shambles? Have you ever watched their like trying to get policies passed and stuff boardroom that's on TV every day?
Yeah.
Like all they do is like
C-SPAN.
yell at each other, and like this poor judge person, whoever like is
In the House
appointed,
of Commons,
Speaker
yeah.
of the House.
and he's
Yeah.
they're just like, oh my fuck. Like they're just like, they look so
They don't let
defeated.
them. They just let them. They're just but you
They
can't say there's
try.
certain things they can't, but other than that,
Yeah.
they just let them.
Well, and they have to follow within, like, you have like a
Yeah.
time limit and that kind of stuff, and like that's what they do. Like, so it's like, even if like for right now, like the Conservatives, they're the minority in the federal government, so they're considered the opposition, so they literally just go every day just to argue against something, even though they have their votes will not matter if something like passes or something, because the NDP and Liberals create like the majority. They just go there just to argue against it.
Yeah.
Like that's their job. They're the opposition.
They
They're getting
just
paid
look like
just
a
do
bunch
that.
of fucking crybabies. And like, so like you have these other parties who are like the Quebec parties, the Saskatchewan party, like these independent parties that are there, and Liberal, NDP, Green Party, and you have them trying to talk about real issues. And the only things you can hear to get done is fucking Conservative Party, blah, 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 blah. Like, be a fucking grown up. You know, if this was any other job and like a board meeting, you would be asked to leave. Like, you can't handle yourself in a mature manner. You need to fucking go. Like that. Why is our government not run like real life? Like, it doesn't make sense.
And it's like, I could understand like passion behind things, because like generally like the things they're arguing against or for is like, you know, things that affect people's lives. So I can understand like passion, you know, like but it's like, especially from the right wing side, because I know they're not coming from a place of compassion.
Yeah.
So any emotional outburst from them, I know is like specifically for show. And so it's like, and they try to always up. I mean, PP is like Pierre Poilievre is, you know, he's just the biggest whiner around. Like
Little PP energy. Like
little
that's what he
PP.
has.
I mean, he's now campaigning without his glasses so that he doesn't look like Millhouse anymore. Like,
Yeah, like literally.
I need to change my image.
He did. That's exactly why he did it.
He what's that? She's all that. She's all thatted. You know,
Yeah.
he got the glasses. Now he's pretty and attractive.
Yeah.
Popularest girl in school. Yeah, that's Pierre Poilievre.
Oh, I got just a little break for a second. My dogs are gonna go crazy. Yeah.
Dance break.
Yeah. So the dogs had to go out.
Yeah.
Which they just went out, but the problem is they only went out to bang. My one dog's in heat. And the boy dog is like, let's go out on a date. So they go outside in the back corner and do it. And then they come back in. So they don't like go to the bathroom like they're supposed to. They just have fun instead. They play.
But he's fixed, so he's not going to do anything.
Yeah, no, but they still have fun apparently. They're just like, hey, I'm glad they don't do it inside, which is, I guess, nice.
Privacy.
But yeah, they need to go outside on their own, off on their own. I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, go enjoy your date. Want me to
Maybe
light
they
some
think they're
candles?
not allowed, so they're like, we won't get caught. Shh.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah,
tell
maybe.
mom.
Yeah.
Siblings are
God.
doing it.
That sounds terrible. Oh, thank goodness they're dogs and that doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Oh,
PP was well, I was gonna say, Pierre Poilievre was recently on Jordan Peterson's show.
Oh my god, I didn't watch that. I did not. I refused.
Oh, you're so lucky I did. I can't help myself.
No,
a
I
glutton
refused
for
on that one.
punishment. It was just him, like, espousing all his regular stuff and then, like, saying, like, he literally describes socialism, I think, like, word for word almost, as money from the workers going to the rich. And I'm like, that's capitalism.
Yeah.
You just described capitalism, PB. Like, that's not socialism. That's not how socialism works. But
Nobody
what do I
knows.
know?
Yeah. And yeah, no, and like there was like this crisis a couple weeks ago you were talking about, and they're like, oh, what's your opinion on this? And he's like, oh, and he didn't touch base on that at all. He's like, carbon tax.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even know what that means anymore. It's losing all meaning. Like, it's I don't understand. And people are like, yeah, carbon tax. Like, what do you know about carbon tax? I'm gonna guess you don't know anything.
Yeah.
They
Like,
don't.
But he knows obviously what carbon tax is because he's just trying to like rally people who don't know things.
He's hate farming. He's just
Yeah. Oh,
yeah, and he's
Good
literally been campaigning for like outside of the campaigning time. He just
Yeah.
doesn't, say he's campaigning. He's just doing events. But he's literally been doing like 500 events in like the past year. Like he's been doing multiple events each day, like going around, which I think is funny because I haven't really heard of like Singh doing stuff like that.
No, he doesn't.
Because he's too busy working with Trudeau. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't blame Trudeau for everything and then also work with him.
Yeah.
They did so much stuff together.
Mhm.
Like that's the problem. They were like talking like that's how dental came to be, even though Liberal was like the party in power that passed the thing. Like NDP is the one that like tried, like worked together, and they worked on other social programs too together. And like the fact that like he's saying, oh, we're the ones that did this, but Trudeau's at fault for everything else.
Mhm.
No, you work together for everything. Like, don't be a backseas person like that.
Yeah.
Like
it's like cool. You push Trudeau into doing slightly nicer things.
well, but did he really push? Like, I'm pretty sure it's a conversation. Like,
Well, no, generally what ends up happening is like they have to like give something. So the Liberals would be like, vote on this bill with us and we'll vote on that bill with you.
yeah, that's what it is.
So
It's like a
back
Scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
symbiotic relationship, right? Like that's what
like
that's
getting
what,
CERB passed, for example. Like the
Mhm.
Liberals wanted it to be like $1,000. You
Yeah.
know, and so NDP was like, no, we want it to be like $3,000, and then they settle on $2,000, and
Yeah.
they go together, and it's like that's still not enough.
No, it's still like compromising, right? Like they're still working together.
But like, could you imagine if you just told like Trudeau no, be like 4,000 or 2,000 universal, like no payback, no, shit like that, and like what's Trudeau gonna say? No, and then just what? Because then nothing gets passed. And it's like, how long do you think the population would be able to handle that? Trudeau would be like, he would have to do something.
Yeah,
it's just you have to just wait a week. Like, just hold out. Like, fucking, it might suck for some people for a little bit, but ask about CERB. I know so many people that ended up in debt because they got CERB when they shouldn't have gotten CERB, even though they needed CERB, and then ended up owing like $20,000 the next fucking year.
Yeah.
Well, so
it's we
Fuck
just
Trudeau!
need to like start over. It just is so sickening. And then these people are also like Singh and little baby PP are using this like, so Trump is coming in power shortly, and they're just like, we need to have a leader now while this is happening. Trudeau's still fucking leader of Canada. Okay. Like he's the leader until someone else is appointed. We're not fucking just like anarchy over here.
Ungoverned. Like we still
Yeah.
have,
But our politicians who we're supposed to be trusting are saying we are at risk right now. Like they are putting fear into people to not make proper decisions.
yeah.
And like
They're
these are
fear-mongering around the wrong things.
they are leaders of our country and are dirt bags. That's all I can say. It's like you have to be a certain type of dirtbag, apparently. Like good people don't get to lead countries, apparently. Like that's what it is. Like it's
Yeah, it's like and I find like maybe it's just like, like cops. Like it's like you go into it trying to be the good one, and then it's like over time you either get fired or you turn into one of the bad ones. And I feel like because like they're party systems, right? It's like you have to, it's starting out, follow those party lines really close until you get enough. And then once you're like the leader, then you can kind of call the shots a bit
already
more.
corrupted. Like, it's too late.
Like,
and
like if you're making waves when you just you're there and you're not a leader yet, like they'll be like, okay, then leave.
Yeah, you're never gonna make it. Like it.
Yeah.
But once they get to that position, no one has ever been like, hey, we need to change things. And like Singh, what I don't understand is Singh's supposed to be for like the poor people. He has not once said, you know what, politicians should make less money. Not once said, should we be giving our paychecks to the seniors of our country? Like he's like, nah, man, give me all the money. Like they make so much money, and he comes from like privilege already. Like he doesn't know what most of Canada's going through. Neither does little Pee-Pee. Again, privileged upbringing. Like it's
and the with the NDP as well. Like they some of the NDP literal landlords. It's like, how can you be a politician and rent out property to your constituents? Like I don't understand how that's legal. And I feel like if you're part of what was supposed to be like the Socialist Party, that like how can you own private property and rent it out like that? That literally goes against the principles. So like if Singh was like all the NDP members have to sell their extra properties and cease being landlords or leave, like that would be cool.
Yeah, pass the law that nobody can have more than one property. You cannot own more than one property unless you have a certain license that you have to follow, and it's an apartment building. Like it's not individual houses. It has to be of a building that you are property managing, and you need to do right. You have to make sure your tenants are taken care of, blah, blah, blah. Rent isn't so crazy high. Like, I just feel like there needs to be more licenses in place.
Like for me, I'm completely like profit for housing should be null and void. It should be all just like you can buy your individual Australia. You can buy your individual houses. Apartment buildings are all owned by the government. At this rate, you have superintendents in the building that take care of the building, and they get their free units.
Oh, ideally, I would love that.
Paid to do that.
Yeah, I would love that. Where the government. The problem is that people are like, oh, the government is doing too much, but then really the government's doing fucking nothing. Like. People, the groceries are outrageous. The cost of rent is outrageous. You want your government to do more. Like, and then you blame the government.
Again, Galen, on site, Galen.
On site.
He got caught again, like doing fraud shit and hiking up prices and stealing. And like, this stuff is illegal. And
he's not in prison.
No, they just got a slap on the wrist, pay less than they stole. The government, even though they stole from us, the people.
Yeah, we don't get it.
We don't get it. Or you get like the $10 check. Do you remember like the bread fixing scheme?
Yeah.
You get like the little $10 check. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I spent more than $10 on bread. But
oh my god, I spend that in like 2 days. Like bread's like what, $4 like for a decent loaf, like a good brand of bread.
Fresh bread.
Yeah.
Like not the frozen, not the stuff that shows up frozen.
Not the Great Value bread. I'm talking about like the whatever, the one that starts with a D and it's really great, like the Italian one.
Oh,
that
those
one.
are
Italiano.
those are showing up frozen now too.
I
If
know,
you
but they're
go
still
early-
$4.
If you go to the store early enough in the day where they just put the bread out, you can see parts where there's condensation and like it ruins the bread. It like makes it go bad faster. So like you need to eat it in 2 days or it's moldy. Like make your own bread, people, or steal it. Like don't pay $5 for bread. You won't be able to eat it all. Just put it down your pants, walk out the door. Like it's just
go to the bakery section and steal a bunch of those yeast packets. You can stuff them in your shirt. You can
Oh,
stuff,
yeah.
they're very
Make your own
small.
bread.
You just steal like 100 bread for life. You just need the flour and water.
sourdough. You don't need yeast.
Yep. There you go.
There you go. You just keep that shit in your fridge, let it go to have a nap. And when you're ready to use it, you pull it out, feed it, let it sit for about 12 hours, and then you can use it. Like that.
Yeah. I'm waiting for them
put
to
it back
start
to
like
bed.
banning stuff like that.
Soon, yeah.
Well, because like like for chickens, an example.
They've already started banning chickens in places where chickens were allowed, like country, out in the country.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
like
they're
that.
gonna start banning home gardens too.
Yeah, like
And
because
they're-
people don't speak up. Like you hear these things are happening, and all you do is on Facebook is fuck Trudeau, fuck the homeless. Like there's this group called Hamilton Neighborhood Watch.
Oh my God, I hate that group.
It's all about hating unhoused people. I'm pretty sure it's all fuck Trudeau people. That's where all they're at. Like that's their group.
It's boomers. It is full of boomers.
No, it's
and
all
Gen
young.
Xers.
There's young people, like so many young people.
Not really.
and
No,
They
there's not so
sound
many young
like
people.
boomers.
They do. They sound like boomer. I've like lurked a lot of them. I'm like, my God, like you like have no teeth. You might want liberals and NDP back in. Like you do not want to vote conservative because you're not going to get your dental.
They don't want dental. They want big screen TVs. Like,
But they're not gonna get that either.
I'm just saying their priorities aren't. They
But
want.
they're the type of people who think the federal government is in charge of healthcare. Like that's they don't understand.
They didn't graduate high school. They don't understand how the government works.
Well,
like,
and they get confused because the government does, like the federal government is doing things like implementing dental, and then they're like, see,
That's because they have to.
But that's
Well,
what I'm
that's
saying.
because
They don't- It's like they don't so one of my husband Chris's friends, longtime coworker, he's no longer talking to anymore. Randomly, like Chris was like, "Hey, how do you feel about Trudeau resigning?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, blah blah. I plan on voting for PP next election." And he's just like, "Why?" Because this man is like a small business owner, not like rolling in it, lives in Hamilton, like and it's just like, and he's 10 years older than Chris, and it's just like trying to explain, we're like, you're voting literally against our children. Like how do you think the Conservatives federally differ from the Conservatives provincially in views? Like, where explain that. And then he didn't even explain that. He just went, well, I didn't even vote for the Conservatives. I voted for the Libertarians provincially. And I'm like, that's worse.
That's like
You see
no
how that's
policy
worse,
at all.
right?
Ugh. It's because
So-
people don't understand politics. Like they need to start at like 8th grade. I feel like maybe middle school, 6th grade, because then I feel like you can just learn the levels of government and stuff. And then you go more into the history the older you get, when you're like, your brain can understand better concepts. Like a 6-week course in grade 10, not enough. Not
start
enough.
at like sex ed, where you start at age appropriate as
Yes,
they're older.
yeah.
So they're like 3, and you're like, this is money. you know, like, and you're like showing like, let's go get a toy with these dollars. And then the next time you're like, oh, you're a little older, they're 6, and you take them to the bank with you, and you take them to the Service Ontario, and you take them, you know, and
like
then just
field trips.
Yes.
Like, yes, like what these buildings are for. It's just like learning about the post office. They learn about the post office in like grade 2.
And we're about to
Learn
lose
to write
that.
letters. Yeah. It's already privatized. And like you teach them how to write letters. You teach them the library. You teach them about the library where you can go to get books and how you have to be responsible for your library card. Like, kids are smarter than you think they are. Like, give them more responsibility.
Now explain how the government gives funding to social buildings
Yes.
like the library, and how they're slowly defunding these things for private corporations.
Let's start a homeschooling school where it's focused on like more of a socialist teachings, and like we can teach like community gardens and like taking
But
care
then
of
you're
the
gonna have
elderly.
the far right say you're indoctrinating the children. Then
It's
that's what
volunteer. It's private public. It doesn't
they'll
cost
still
you
say.
anything.
They'll still say that though. I'm
That
just
doesn't
saying.
matter because they'll be homeschooling their kids and taking them
Exactly.
to church. So it's like,
Right?
I
It's
don't
the
war
same.
against
care.
the two different
It's
kinds
You
of
the
indoctrinate your kids.
homeschooling.
Let me indoctrinate mine. God
That's
damn it,
right.
freedom.
So many people would homeschool their kids if there was somebody there to teach them. Like, that's like, they're like, I have to work. I don't have someone to teach my kids. Like, it's.
I
would-
like the idea of public schools. I just wish they worked as public schools are supposed to work.
It's the
I like
problem
schools.
is that teachers are so overworked,
Underpaid.
underpaid, and like they can't focus on the kids that need help. They can only focus on the kids who least resistance, like, you know, like who can understand this the quickest, and let's get this moved on. And the topics, they have to teach the most basic generic topics because they only have so many hours in the day. Like, kids need to learn at home. Like, that's what's supposed to happen.
And like I mean, at least I've noticed since COVID and stuff, like a lot of these teachers, like not a lot of them, I don't want to say a lot of them, but some of these teachers are also right wing themselves.
Yeah.
And that kind of like comes out in a lot of that as well. So it's like,
Yes. Like, Constantine in grade 2 started with severe general anxiety disorder. There were 7, so grade 3 maybe. And unfortunately, they were telling everybody everyone's going to die. But the teacher was like, "Oh, it's okay. God will protect you."
ugh.
And I was like, first of all,
This
like,
is a Catholic school. Like, I would understand if that was a Catholic school, but it
No.
wasn't.
I was like, God isn't real. Your teacher's an idiot.
You could like that teacher like risked her job for God. right
Yes.
there.
Like, that is
In
insane.
a public school, like again, in like a Catholic school, like that's what they're supposed to say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't escalate. I just told the teacher, you need to respect our beliefs as I'm going to respect yours and not take this to the board. Like, this is going to stop now, and I will not hear it again. And then Constantine wasn't allowed to go to school for a while because they were making all the kids cry. And parents would call the school and be like, what is happening? Oh, I don't know. Like, and there's really no support for kids like that, which teachers do not have the education to handle that, which I understand. Learning resource teachers do not have the education to handle that. But it's just, you just have to ride it out, wait to get prescribed medication, and hopefully that works. It was a rough year. Like, Dawn Marie came to my house one time and Constantine was having a really hard time not being with me, like right up my anus. And like, Dawn Marie's like, I would shoot my kid. And again, and then she has
Kayla.
a non-speaking autistic child.
Karma's a bitch.
I didn't say it to Constantine or
I
anything.
know you
but, like,
didn't, but it was just so fun. You're like,
You
I
put it
couldn't
out in
handle
the
that.
world.
I
It's
know,
in the
she's like, what he
world.
said. She's like, I couldn't handle that. and then this is your daily life.
I know. And I'm still not handling it, by the way. I know my limits, and that was it.
I couldn't handle it then either. Don't worry. Like you just do what you got to do. And like we're still riding that ride with our other kids. Constantine started young. And then we have like our oldest, thank goodness, is okay now. Like they're over that. So that's done. So now we just have the 3. And I'm like thinking maybe 6 years from now, we're gonna be in the clear. They're still gonna have autism, but I'm thinking the hormones will be okay. All the tools they're learning will be set in stone. 6 years.
It was Lyric. So for our listeners, Lyric is my autistic child. She's technically, I guess, like
it would be considered non-speaking.
Yeah. Like she does talk a lot. It's just you can't have like a conversation with her. Although we're getting a little back and forth now, so she's almost 7, so we're working on that. But it was hair wash day. So that was like Chris is standing behind me. He doesn't know what to do. I'm like trying to like hold a towel in front of her face and rinse her hair. She's like, no, rinse. And I'm like, we did everything. We tried cups. We tried the shower head. She just wanted to get out of there. So eventually we're just like, okay, we just got 10 seconds. Let's just fucking go. Did it. And then as soon as she's screaming bloody murder, I'm like, the neighbors probably think we're, killing her, whatever. We get her out. Calm. She's like, that's not. Yeah. She's like, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Like, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
Like, you're sorry. Thank you. Want to do it again?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
No. So. We still have outbursts like that in our teenage years where they try to attack us. And then when they're done, when this is over, they're like, oh my God, I'm sorry. I love you. Like, like after they have this emotional outburst that they need to get out because something is happening in their brain at that moment, they're just so like you just have to ride it. You're like, okay, I'm gonna try and do what I need to do, but like I'm gonna get punched in the face. Like, yeah. Like, and it's just like how it clicks. Like okay, like I'm done. Like it's just like
Philip will be in the middle of beating me up and he starts crying because he's upset that he's hurting me. But like he continues to hurt me as he's doing it because he feels like he has to do it, like, but also he doesn't want to do it.
It's a stimming thing. He's like, I don't know why I'm doing this, but I have to. Like, I don't want to. Yeah.
I don't want to hurt you, but I have to. He's teaching me a lesson.
It's just like, have you heard, like, there's the thing where, like, you think something's so cute, you want to hurt it. You know, you love
aggression.
Yeah. It's kind of like, I love you so much. I don't know what to do with that energy.
Let me make you bleed.
Yeah. Like, it's like showing affection. But you're
it's just when he's upset and he doesn't know how to like control his emotions about something that he can't like speak to me about. Yeah. So he just beats on me. Like that's his communication.
Because he loves you. You're the person who keeps me safe. You're the person who makes
me hurt.
Feel like I can just be myself around. And unfortunately, that's getting punched in the face.
Violent right now.
Yeah.
It's great. I love it. Love that for me.
Love it. Yeah. As a lot of kids are like that with their primary caregiver, is that they're safe person. They're the person they're with all the time. So they are the worst for them. Like they'll be at school, they'll be like having a great time, and then they'll come home and crash. And like they're just so cranky is the word I guess I'll use, just because they're done. Their brain is like, I can't control what's happening anymore. I need to like let it all out. And then so they'll misbehave, they'll kick stuff, like they just won't do what they're supposed to do. They yell at you, they call you a dirty ugly skank, get away from me.
It's because they know you're not gonna leave.
Like,
they trust you. If they're doing this, they trust that you're not gonna leave them.
They're able to like, they're not angry at you. Like that's just, they need somebody. Like the world is tough right now, and like just like fuck Trudeau. Trudeau's not the problem. The society is, but they need a figure to blame. So like that's
They're really gonna miss him when he's gone. Like
Yeah.
they're not even gonna realize how bad it's gonna get now.
Where's
They're
that?
gonna miss him.
That Cup song should play. Somebody should make a video of like the "You're gonna miss me when I'm gone." Do like that song, like that, and then like just like a montage. That's it. I'm gonna do it. I'll do a TikTok, a montage of Trudeau and with that song. It'll take me probably a week because I don't have time, but maybe by the time this is out,
I think like the funny part I always used to laugh about with Trudeau is like a lot of people would be like, "Oh, you're probably just some dirty liberal. You probably are a Trudeau lover." And I'm like, "No, I actually hate Trudeau too. But we just hate Trudeau for different reasons."
Yeah.
Like that's always what it was. You hate Trudeau because you're being told to hate Trudeau and you think he's a communist. I'm a communist. So
Yeah, I'm an actual communist, and
Yeah.
Trudeau's not. So like, you
You're
hate
like,
him
he's a
'cause you don't know.
dictator with his minority government. Like what?
All his white people? Like what fucking minority? Oh man. I think I've seen one person of color so far speak on his behalf. Like it's
Yeah.
okay.
Well, I mean, for someone that did blackface, I guess, you know.
Long time ago. Like
Long time ago, I still think old enough to know better.
Did he even apologize?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I was
Yeah,
like,
he made a video apologizing.
oh, and a little apology video.
He did a little YouTube apology.
Yeah.
They brought out a ukulele. Just
I just like, oh, I like it just shows that like people can be like, not that they can, but lots of people are racist or bigots. The problem is if you don't learn from the like you make mistakes but if you don't grow, that's the problem. Like if you don't be like, I'm a fucking shithead, like that's the issue. Like if he was like, oh, it was only 20 years ago, get over it, like that would be a problem. Like I feel like
I think my issue is like this came out and then he apologized.
Like it's probably like how much stuff have you done when you were younger? Did you make a list? Like
I feel like I'm a public figure and I knew I did blackface in the past. I feel like if I'm a public figure, like a lot of the times racist tweets will resurface or videos of them saying the N-word, and it's like those were all bad when you did those things too.
Yes, yeah.
You just were surrounded by white people that told you it was okay.
Yeah.
So it's like the minute you knew that was wrong, you should have apologized. Did you not know it was wrong up until the point you got called out by the public? Because then that's a little messed up being the literal leader of a country at this point.
Well, I feel like what's a good segue? You're like,
I'm your prime minister now. By the way, I really fucked up a few times. I don't want to lay it out to you
but
right
I feel
now.
like even as he was like in the Liberal Party, not the leader, and like that kind of stuff, like we literally had social media. How hard is it to make a random tweet one day being like, "Hey, you ever look back at your past and realize, shit's fucked? Yeah, I'm thankful we grew," or something. Like even it could be vague.
Yeah.
And then he could at least point to that as like a part in his past where he recognized he did something wrong. But it's like the minute you only do it when you're called out, I'm like, you're just doing it for like, he's doing it not because he's sorry. He's doing it because he got caught.
Like, wouldn't that be something your PR team should be like looking out for? Shouldn't they go through your past?
They're supposed to, yeah. When you're a public figure.
Like, I feel like his dad's team should have been like, hey, buddy, like, like it probably wasn't look good on his family, like like his family's PR
dad's team was at that party too with their own blackface.
Oh my gosh, probably, yeah. Let's be real, yeah.
I mean, it was 2001.
Yeah,
I feel like we knew not to do blackface in 2001. Like you could be a black person doing whiteface in 2001. Like that was funny,
Yeah.
But like, I feel like we knew by then not to do blackface.
Yeah, yes, because there was like that Tropic Thunder movie with Robbie Downey Jr. who was doing it as like a you shouldn't be doing this. Like,
yeah, like
it's
that was
ridiculous.
the point of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he's fucking ridiculous. Like,
Oh, okay. No, BBC wrote an article saying Justin Trudeau cannot say how often he wore blackface. So he did it more than once.
like, how often? What? Like, he can't be
Yeah.
like, oh, I did it all the time. Like,
Canada's PM Justin Trudeau has said he cannot remember how often he wore blackface as a younger man.
how many times did he feel like he needed to dress up in? Like, was Aladdin the only costume he could afford? Like, what?
And like you could do Aladdin without the blackface. You know, like I feel like that is something that can be done. Hold on. So
Well, he said, I came from a place of privilege, you know? At least he's acknowledging that. Like, people
It's
around
not hard
me.
to acknowledge. Like,
But,
that's
like,
kind
no,
of right
like,
in your face.
No, because people of privilege are usually like, oh, like, nobody around me had a problem with it. The problem is, like, nobody around him had a problem with it. So that is the issue. He came from a place where a bunch of rich white people were like, oh, that's so cool. You know, like
these are 3 different events.
Mhm.
So again, I feel like
was he just like keeping the black paint like a big stock? He's like, oh, I have all this paint, I need to use it.
he owned a stock in it.
Yeah, like he got a whole fucking can.
Yeah. So again, I don't think that's a reason to be like, oh, his policies are bad. I mean, you can look at some of his policies and be like, his policies are bad. You know what I mean? But I feel like that's a red flag. Red flag.
Yeah.
Wasn't just one event.
A lot of events. And I just think like people who are the fuck Trudeau people aren't like, they're not talking about that when they have a problem with it. Their problems are carbon tax. Like that's really, there is no other argument they have. It's this carbon tax is the reason Canada's on fire.
And
like,
immigration. Even though immigration is shut down for 3 years.
And our immigration has not increased. Like, it's been the same percentage population increase. So our population is always increasing. People are having babies. But our immigration has always been between the 1 to 2%. Like, that's like same percentage coming in. Sure, the number looks bigger each time, but that's because our population is growing. That's what happens. Like exponential growth. Like people should have remembered that in COVID. Exponential growth. Like it's just like
COVID. These fuck Trudeau people were the ones that didn't want to wear masks. That's
like,
how the whole trucker convoy started. Was against quarantine stuff that we didn't have.
It's like everybody has like the memento disease. Where like you just fucking forget every single day and you have to just start every day over. Like start tattooing shit on your arms or something, people. Like if you're not going to remember 4 years ago, you need to start writing stuff down. Like Kyle says to me all the time, because he has ADHD and refuses to do anything about it. So he like forgets things to do things all the time. I'm like, write it fucking down. And then he's like, you want me to do like a memento? Like, yes. Fucking take a picture of it and write stuff if you have to. Like
Chris, pretty sure he has ADHD. He has sticky notes and he writes his little things on his sticky notes, his lists, you know, because sometimes you have to. So yeah, just do what you have to.
I have lists upon lists upon lists upon lists. I lose them, but I'm trying. But it's just like, it drives me crazy. But like, you know, we've been together for 20 years. So now I'm like,
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
Right? I'm not desensitized. I still get like, fuck, I'll stab you in your sleep. But like, that's just who he is, right? Like if you just gotta take it. Take it as it goes. Right? Like kids are still alive. That's all that matters.
Well, do we have any more fuck Trudeau stuff?
No, I'd like,
not really.
I'm interested to see what happens. Like I'm more frustrated with society than the politicians. Like I'm so mad at the politicians for being a bunch of like liars right now and like fear mongers and just like so negative, like not even talking about the policies they want to put in place if they are leaders. It's just like bashing. But mostly society for not realizing how the government works, like paying attention to their own wants and needs, and maybe check in with your neighbor, like what's something they're lacking, and is our future politicians planning on doing anything about that, either to help or hinder. Like I feel like you need to not just worry about yourself in that fact, or know what a carbon tax is at least. Like bare minimum.
Yeah.
Like I'd be okay. Like sure, people are voting conservatives or whatever. Like if that's you, if you knew why you were voting conservative, like for a real reason, like you believe in the policies, like you don't believe there should be so many social programs. Sure, you're
you
garbage.
Don't believe in people of color or gay people.
Yeah, sure, you're a garbage human, but at least you know what you're trying, like what you're voting for. Like don't be blindly voting. Like it's just know who you are, know why you're voting. Like you, as long like be a garbage human, but know why.
And I'm still not going to be friends with you.
When was that purple party or whatever Ontario was having their election?
People's Party. Yeah.
I blocked everyone who does it, and my family's like, oh, like you're so extreme or whatever. And then I always use the analogy, if there is 10 people at a dinner party and there's one and no one Nazi, there's 10 Nazis at that dinner party. And I use that when I blocked my siblings on social media. Like if you're having this Nazi at your table, that's not the table I want to be at. Like you are just as bad as they are.
Yeah.
Like that's how it is. Sorry. Like that. You just got to do what you got to do to keep your family safe.
Yeah. So if you're voting against my family's rights, I'm voting against.
I just don't want to talk to you
because I think you should still have rights.
Yeah, that's right. Like I feel like you should still have healthcare. If you break your leg, I feel like you should be seen right away. I feel like there should be more doctors with better education helping you. Like
you're a conservative woman. I think you should still be able to get an abortion when
I especially think they should get an abortion.
extra.
I really, really encourage that one.
We know that's going to be on the chopping block once PP's in. As much as he says it's not, even though he's voted like on pro-life bills before anyway.
I'm like pro-abortion. Like I feel like people should have them.
We don't
like
do
it should be an option.
That's
what I mean. I feel like that should be your first choice. Like do
Chris
it.
Is fixed, but I kind of want to go get pregnant now just to get one.
Just to get one?
Yeah.
Just be like, yeah, you know what? I just fucking want one.
Go to the sperm bank, be like, hey, I'm just looking to get
oh my god, you know how
abortion?
fucking expensive that is? Fucking IVF. IVF? What, something like that. Like, to get it?
It's not in vitro. It's in.
It's
not
IDF,
in the uterus. It's just in the vagina. They just use the turkey baster. What's that one? Artificial insemination.
They don't use a turkey baster.
No, not if you're just getting inseminated, it's just the turkey baster in the vagina. If you're getting in vitro, that's when they're putting like the egg inside your thing.
The already fertilized egg inside your
womb. Okay, yes. They take it out. That the fucking turkey baster method does not seem.
They do. They give you like the drugs to make sure you're like right on time.
I know, but
then they put it like right up against your cervix.
Like the chances of actually getting the job done is fucking fertilize that egg first and put it back in the oven. Like, just fucking. But you could just go to the club and like put your vagina up and like everybody do this and like eventually you'll get pregnant.
But they're
not
trying to. They gotta put it in.
Nope. They're just gonna like fucking just like slop it on fucking gross ass
yogurt. They also
yogurt.
test the semen and make sure it's a lot of swimmers.
Yes, yeah, they have to make sure it's good
that's
semen.
the big part. So I feel like I'll try the cheaper option. I mean, I don't have trouble getting pregnant that I know of. So should be fine. Should be fine.
Should be fine. There we go.
Yeah. I'll live stream it.
Oh yeah, and the abortion.
And
this
the
is
abortion.
for science.
A protest, you know.
Like,
Dave's not fixed. I'll get him pregnate me, and then we can go together.
why isn't Dave fixed?
Because I told you he tried, remember? And then they were going to give him a paper, and then it never came. And then now he has social anxiety, and he won't call the doctor back. And be like,
I was like, man, I
You
can't
should
believe
call for him.
you guys are risking
won't
that
let
shit.
so, the original, I did call the first time, and they're like, no, he has to call. They won't let me do it for him.
Yeah, maybe say you're his mom.
And then at the doctor's appointment, they were like, does your wife know you want this? And he's like, yeah, it was her idea.
Yeah,
I'm like, are you sure?
oh,
Yeah.
oh my God.
Well, some men get it done so that they can have mistresses and not worry about it. So that's probably why they're like, does the wife know?
They asked Kyle that too, like, oh, is your wife okay? And he's like, we have 4 fucking kids. Like, yeah, like, yeah, fucking do it.
I was with Chris in the doctor's office, 38 weeks pregnant.
Okay,
So-
they're like, oh yeah.
Yeah. So
I went with him to wait in the weight room. He didn't want me to go in with them. I'm like, you want me to like hold your hand or anything? He's like, no, I'm fine. Like, don't be ridiculous.
I didn't go to the actual appointment.
Oh yeah, I went in case he needed because he has like social anxiety, so sometimes he just needs somebody like just to enter a building with him. And I was like, oh, like you need me to go in? He's like, no, I'll be fine. And like he was fine. He drove us back home. He took care of our baby. Like I had to go to work, so like he still had to be a parent. Like
I had
like-
just had a baby 2 weeks before. Chris's dad took him. Chris fainted,
oh, poor guy.
but he still did it. He still
Yeah.
did it. So no excuse.
It's just, and I like all these people like, oh, like my husband is like in bed for a week. I'm like, if he's still in pain, he's lying to you, or he's gonna lose his testicles. Like that.
The
Those
checks.
are what's happening. Yeah. I like Kyle was fine the same day. He was like a little itchy, like maybe needed the ice pack, but he's like, it's fucking nothing. It's just a tiny little incision.
Yeah, Chris
Like
took like 2 days, I think, of just like achiness. Like it wasn't even like pain.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
just ache.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. It's just like when you scrape your knee, like it burns, right? Like and then it's like bruising around it, and like you limp a little, but you still fucking have to do what you got to do. You make dinner, you take care of the kids. Like my vagina was on fire for a week, and I still took care of the kids. So like any man who's like, oh, my testicles, I was like, fucking throw the kid on that. That's like, I walk away. Like that's
Well, fuck Trudeau.
fuck Trudeau, but make sure you get a vasectomy so you don't impregnate him. Like that.
no, I want that. What are you talking about?
You want-
Let's go fuck Trudeau and then have Trudeau abortions.
He probably had a vasectomy. Like, I'm pretty sure there's
Can
no
we like
way.
reverse it in his sleep?
Fucking non-consensual
I'll do it. I'll do it.
reversal.
start learning.
I'll get reverse vasectomies for dummies, and I'll do it. I'm going to perform it.
Fucking practice on onions. Oh, little water balloons full of pudding. I feel like that's the best texture. And like you gotta like just do a tiny incision, but not explode the pudding.
We'll put some yarn inside to mimic the vas deferens that
It's
you have
like
to cut. Yeah.
Bomb technician school, but
So we'll
Ah.
have them. You have to like reconnect them
Oh my
inside
gosh.
the pudding balloon.
doctor school sounds like so much fun.
We'll add it to our homeschool courses.
Yeah.
Just
Or, like-
doctor school.
That's what we'll call it, doctor school. And it's just vasectomies. There's no other. There's like maybe band-aids on for paper cuts, but like
Vasectomies and abortions. That's all you get to learn here at doctor school.
Prevent babies from being born.
fuck it. We had to go back in time to get the metal coat hangers because like you can't find those anymore.
No, we'll learn
have a couple, don't
actual
worry.
safe doctor ones.
Oh,
But we'll
like
use,
medication.
like with the well, but like you know how they use the medication to open the cervix and they use a little
Yes.
vacuum and like
yeah.
Suck
Good
it
little
out.
sea monkey.
But
Come
I'm
here,
just
sea
saying,
monkey.
I have metal coat hangers
Just in case.
okay? I have those for a reason. For my emergency.
She really she's like, I like analog abortions.
Oh no. Oh,
Okay. Make sure to check out our Patreon, where we have our pre-drink series, just like our VIP Patreon, Stephanie Hurst.
hi, Stephanie.
Hi, Stephanie. How are you enjoying our Canadian politics? Well, we'll see you all. I don't think we have anything to plug. Oh no, we do.
Oh.
Books and Booze is back.
Oh yeah.
First
yeah.
episode will have been released the day before this, so check it out. And every Thursday for the next few weeks will be Books and Booze Season 3, where we bring on indie authors and interview them, and they read a little bit of their books. So check that out. We'll
Sounds
see you
good
all
to
next
me.
time.
Yeah. See you next week.
See you next week. Bye.
Bye.